spoken to him, but somehow she'd created a mental image of him from their brief emails and texts. She had pictured a checked flannel shirt and overalls, perhaps a pair of baggy jeans that showed a little too much skin when he bent over. He'd told her he had renovated the house himself, so she'd thought he'd look a little more like the construction worker of her imagination. "You read too much," she admonished herself. She had a bad habit of conjuring up ideas about people with very little information to go on. She did it with customer service representatives she dealt with only on the phone, or pitchmen in radio ads. She would create a whole scenario about them just from listening to their voice. She'd done the same thing with this guy based on his emails and texts, and her imagination couldn't have been more wrong. The jeans, though, she got right, but they fit him. He looked comfortable in them. Maybe they were his favorite pair. The flannel shirt she got right, too, but it was a solid gray, and underneath he wore a black thermal shirt against the chill in the November air. "Meredith?" he said as he approached, his hand outstretched. "Meredith Clark? Hi, I'm Noah." She took his hand, and hers got lost in the warmth of his. She smiled automatically because that's what she normally did at an introduction. "It's nice to meet you," she said, because, once again, her internal autopilot saved her. He released her hand. "Ready for the tour?" She liked his smile. She liked everything about him so far, she decided, as she followed him to the front steps. The fact that she liked him probably meant that he was married, or at least spoken for. She had a bit of a history of being attracted to men who were, for one reason or another, unavailable. Noah pushed the interior door open and held the storm door so she could walk in ahead of him. He stopped behind her because she hadn't given him much room. She thought she could feel his body sending heat in her direction, but that was surely only because of the temperature of the empty room. She tugged her jacket more tightly around her and rubbed her upper arms as she moved farther into the living room. "There's a fireplace!" she exclaimed. She crossed the wood floor to examine it. "It's not very big," Noah said, "and it's gas, but it will put out a bit of heat when it's on." "Nice proportions," she said as she crossed the room and turned to face him. Already she was envisioning a sectional sofa, a coffee table, end tables, and lamps. "Kitchen's through there," Noah said, indicating an arched doorway. "Oh, this is gorgeous." Meredith ran her hand along the countertops, noting the new gas range and the stainless steel farmhouse sink. "Concrete countertop," Noah said. "The cabinets are oak." "Room for a table and chairs," she noted. A big window looked out over the backyard. There was an ancient swing set that looked sturdy despite its age. The lot backed up onto a wooded area. "I have to see this back porch." She fiddled with the door, figured out how to unlock it, and stepped outside. Noah followed, taking a seat on the low wall that surrounded the porch. Again, she envisioned how she could make this place her own. Resin furniture, comfy cushions, maybe a swing or a glider, hanging plants, trailing vines, and flowers in the summer. That is, if she could find some that would survive her brown thumb. "The land behind the yard is part of the county's conservation plan. Nothing will be built there." "I do like my privacy," she joked. His eyes were dark blue, she noted, and she got the feeling they didn't miss a trick. She liked his quiet presence. He wasn't trying to hurry her along. In fact, he acted like he had nothing better to do than be here with her. They went back inside. "This used to be the dining room," Noah informed her, "but you can use it however you want." Design ideas began clicking through Meredith's mind again. Down the hall were 2 bedrooms with a decent-sized bathroom between them. Next to the bathroom was space for a stackable washer and dryer. That would certainly be convenient. One of the rooms, meant to be the master, she supposed,